Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Connor Knowles, and this is the Nerdic Gods Podcast, episode 213.
I think you got it right this time.
Did I? Because I
Yeah,
remember
you
I
did.
got it
You
wrong
did.
last week, right?
Mhm.
I did
Yeah.
the whole thing where it was the other week. Whatever, who cares? Welcome to the show, everybody. Joining me as always, Daniel Never Really.
What's up, gamers? What's going on?
Hi, Daniel. How you doing?
I'm actually getting shut down.
How are you?
Yeah, me myself personally getting shut down. Yeah,
You shut down yourself.
I was getting laid off, and now I'm just getting shut down.
I should call into work and be like, "Hey, sorry guys, I got laid off."
I
Like,
got laid off. Wait a second,
Hunter, you work here? Like, no, I laid myself off though. I'm still gonna need the job, but I'm laid off. Sorry, guys.
You're still gonna pay me.
Danny, I know this is a video game podcast, but I woke up with some very disturbing news that Jake Paul is boxing a 57-year-old Mike Tyson live on
No
Netflix
way.
in July. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, really. It's a real thing. This is a very real thing. 57 years old. This kid's gonna box Mike Tyson. He's 26. It's insane.
I hope that he knocks.
So
Jake Paul out.
Netflix, I don't know. Netflix getting big into like live sports now. They're attempting to, and
So is there an extra fee for that?
I don't
Or
know.
any of the sports?
Yeah, I don't know how that's actually gonna work. Well, they have the rights to WWE now. Not the rights, but the the
true.
TV
Yeah.
rights. Yeah. So I
they're
don't know
gonna
when
do
that
Raw,
starts
right?
exactly. I don't think that starts until next year. I don't know
I think
exactly
you're
how
right.
that's gonna work. But I know for this, I think they said this is just for everyone that's a subscriber on Netflix.
Nice. That's a good idea. I mean, you get more subscribers that way.
Yeah,
Not adding
I'm
more
curious to
charge.
see how exactly they're gonna do this. You know, especially the UFC angle, because WWE and UFC have the same parent company now. So I
Yeah.
wonder if UFC is gonna go there because their contract's up with ESPN at the end of the year. So I wonder if that's gonna go over there.
Yeah,
But
it's interesting that they've been with ESPN.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. I just would never think that UFC would do a deal with ESPN.
really, I think
Yeah.
if you listen to the higher ups in the UFC, they've always wanted to be on something like ESPN, just to make
'Cause
the
it's always on
sport
TV.
seem like it's an actual sport, you know, and like because they want UFC to be like NFL, MLB, all that shit. I think they've always wanted to be on ESPN, but I don't think ESPN has been the greatest for them. They've been, I mean, the fucking paywalls behind ESPN have been crazy since that started. But I don't see that stopping necessarily if they go on Netflix either. So I don't know. Very curious from that angle. But yeah, Jake Paul, Disney Channel kid, boxing Mike Tyson, who's almost 60 years old. Gonna be great.
That's wild. I hope that Mike Tyson knocks him out.
Oh my god, if a 60-year-old man knocks out this
But
kid,
I've seen him recently.
incredible.
Like, he was like training Francis Ngannou, and like he's in shape. I know he's almost 60, but he's in shape.
It depends when you see him. He fluctuates in and out of shape.
Does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty badly. There's times where he's walking around with a cane, you know, like very recently, and then there's other times where he's sitting there hitting pads and he looks pretty good for a fucking 60-year-old. So it's just like depends, you know. I'm sure he's gonna train hard for it, but 60 years old, that's pretty scary, honestly.
Yeah, it is. But that's Iron Mike, dude. You don't mess with Iron Mike.
No, for sure, for sure. And he looked decently. He had an exhibition match with Roy Jones Jr., but that was 3 years ago already. It was almost 4 years ago now. I'm thinking about it, but and he looked pretty good in that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of remember when he did that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be weird.
I don't know. He recently trains Ngannou. That was really
Yeah,
recent,
yeah.
dude.
No. I mean, he trains a lot of people, I'd imagine. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's fun. I read something. His last pro fight was the year Jake Paul was born, or something
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
Something like that. Yeah.
What?
It's just like crazy. What are we doing here?
What are we doing
What are we
here?
doing? It just seems like a circus show. It's like, what the fuck? 60 years old. I just can't
He's
even.
30 years older than you. He's
Crazy.
double your age.
Crazy.
And you think that, and he thinks that if
It's like
he knocks,
me. It's like me fighting a baby.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like a
exactly.
1-year-old.
So you're gonna be happy when you knock that baby out? You know
I
what
mean, I'd be pretty stoked. You get
Or what if that
millions,
baby
right?
knocks you out? You know, it's like
right. You'll be sad day if Jake Paul knocks out Mike Tyson. No.
I don't not for his legacy because it's like he's an old man. It's like
No, I mean, but like just seeing a 60-year-old legend get knocked out by some fucking kid like that, it's gonna. That's not good. No one wants to see
no,
that.
but it's just I don't understand what Jake is doing here. Making money and having people
I mean,
watch,
I'm
but like
more concerned about his health, if I'm being honest.
yeah,
Like that, Mike Tyson is a man that's taken a lot of punches to the head over the years.
yeah.
It's like I don't know if you should be boxing 24-year-olds. Or
He
the fuck
probably has
old he
some
is.
serious CTE issues.
100%, 100%. You know how hard that man was training back in the day. Like, it seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Daniel, video games. Maybe we'll get Jake Paul on the cover of the next Fight Night game.
I will lose my mind.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm already losing my mind at Patrick Wilson. Is that his name? No,
Who's that?
Andrew Wilson. I'm
Or
already
Wilson.
losing my. It's the head of EA.
Oh yeah. that
I'm
guy.
already losing my mind about. We're going to talk about it in a little bit of his. Just Are we going to talk about it in this episode? Did we put this stuff in here about like?
So we
just,
got
like,
respawn stuff. I think we had the
Yeah.
EA layouts last week.
Yeah. It's more of the respawn stuff because it's just
Okay.
it all trickles down. I'm already mad about him with this EA and respawn stuff, like, and then I'm just
Fucking
just
EA.
leave. Yeah,
They deserve that worst company vote or whatever they were. Yeah.
We don't need Patrick Wilson.
All right. Well, our first news story then, Danny.
Okay.
We're gonna start with WB. WB has stated that they will focus less on AAA games and more on one and done games. Quote games, or one and done games. Excuse me. And then they will focus more on games as a service. Their live service games to be particularly. That's what they're trying to say here. But let's start over. Their whole statement is very odd to me. Okay, WB stated they will focus less on AAA one and done games and more on live service, free to play, and mobile games in the future. There you go. All right, so Daniel, WB just is just the stupidest fucking company around.
What is happening?
I just can't even. Okay.
In every aspect of them,
Mm-hmm.
their TV stuff,
Mm-hmm.
their game side, like what are they doing?
So what is the big thing that happened with WB recently? So they got sold to Discovery, right?
No, they were going to merge with them.
They were gonna merge with them.
Did that go through or not?
I don't know.
Yeah, they were going to merge with Discovery.
And then is that why they're making all these shitty decisions as
I think
of
it
late?
didn't go through.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong. I think it didn't go through, so they're losing some money there.
Okay. Gotcha. Very odd.
But they're making bad decisions in the movie side and TV side and the streaming service side. Number one, like why would you get rid of the HBO thing? And just leave Max. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I have no idea why.
That's the least important word there.
The word HBO.
Just change it to. It shouldn't have been HBO Max in the first. Just keep it HBO. Everyone knows HBO.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, why are you trying to sunset the word HBO? Like, it's so it's
big.
It's
a premium name.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And then with their games division, it's like they're not putting out the output that they should be probably with as many studios as they have, just because of AAA, just AAA development and how that's going. And it's like, I wonder. I forget how well Mortal Kombat did last year for them. I think it did pretty well.
Very well. It was in the top 10.
Was it in the top 10? Yeah, I couldn't remember the numbers for that.
It was
so
like
I guess
7 or whatever.
Okay.
Well, this is what baffles me, Daniel, is like they're putting out incredibly not great games, but like games that are doing incredibly well. They had Hogwarts Legacy last year. That was the #1 best-selling game.
Good games last year.
Yeah, and Mortal Kombat. It's like, I don't know, what more do you want, And then they themselves said they're disappointed in the sales numbers of the Suicide Squad game, which is the live service game. And it's like, okay, so you guys want to lean more into those? I'm very confused here.
Well, it's very simple. I'll just put it to you simple. They just want a game to print money like Fortnite. Every one of these major publishers just wants a game that doesn't stop giving them money.
Yeah.
They just want endless income from a game.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Is like they all just want that income that, like you just said, endless income that is constantly coming in. PlayStation obviously very much wants that. I'm sure they all want that to some extent, but it's just like, particularly in the case of Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, you cannot just get a good studio or a great studio like Rocksteady, tell them to make a live service game in whatever world they want, Suicide Squad with DC and stuff like that, and Last of Us with PlayStation. You can't just take a studio that's already great and then force them to make a live service game and expect that to be good or break through into that giant market like that. We've already seen it with BioWare and Anthem. We've already seen it with a whole bunch of shit at this point, right? Just a bunch of failures on these live service ends from great studios. And so you really have to start looking at more of the AA market. That's where it seems like a lot of these are coming from. Look at Helldivers right now, right? I would consider that probably like a AA game. And
Yeah.
what that game's not like blown up like Fortnite size. It's blown up pretty well. Look at Pal World, right? That's a AA game. That's game's blown up, right? And then you look at Skull and Bones and Suicide Squad, both giant big AAA games made by great studios, failing miserably.
Yeah. I guess you could argue that Helldivers and Pal World are kind of live servicey games, but I would also maybe make an argument that they're not. I would kind of just make an argument that they're just kind of multiplayer games, not
Sure.
necessarily because like we're really getting into like this era where like any game that has constant updates is just a live service game, and like that's just not because we even it's a little different. But remember when we were looking at all the Game Awards nominations, and why was Cyberpunk in Best Community Support?
Yeah. That's
Like,
an
what are they?
ongoing
What?
game.
Yeah, or was it ongoing? Is
I
that what
think
it
it was
was?
ongoing, yeah.
Like, what is it on? What is it ongoing? What is like?
Yeah.
They're not ongoing anything.
Nowadays, I'm so out of the multiplayer realm that like I just call everything a live service almost because that's kind of what they call everything
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah,
Like the people that Arrowhead would call Helldivers a live service game. You know what I mean? PlayStation calls it a live service game, so I'm gonna call it a live service game. Even though like back in the day with like Halo 3, like we were getting constant updates and
new
DLC for
maps.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't call it a live service game though. You know what I mean? That term wasn't really around back then, so. I know what you're saying, but it's like I think they consider all these things live service games.
that's fair. Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
a straight up multiplayer game now is really just like I don't know. I'm trying to even think of like COD. I guess the yearly CODs is kind of
Traditional
just
COD. Yeah,
yeah. Like that's kind of I mean that has the single player element too, of course, but it's not like that gets map packs anymore and stuff like that, or maybe it does. I have no idea, but
I think they do get maps, but like COD, like, and what Activision has been doing with them is like smart because they're doing both, right? They're
right,
not just like alienating the people that just want a multiplayer game, but then they kind of realize that like how popular like battle royales are and kind of live servicey games are. So they also have that,
yeah,
and they also have mobile.
yeah.
So it's like Call of Duty is doing all of it, and they're doing it all very well. So like I think that's what EA is going to do with Battlefield at
Right.
least.
And I think
Um,
those two in particular are really the only two that can kind of get away with that, right? It's like
yeah,
they're the only two that have a multiplayer backing to where you could make a battle royale. I guess like Halo 2 could work. Just things that already are a staple in multiplayer gaming can go over and make a battle royale, and people will be like, "Oh, that's fun." But you can't. But WB doesn't have that in particular, right? They don't have a big multiplayer thing that's or at least even an older multiplayer thing that was at least decently big that they could spin off into a battle royale or some type of live service thing. Not that I'm aware of, at least.
yeah, yeah. I really, I, I'm starting to very like question like maybe Destiny was as much as I love Destiny. Like I'm a huge Destiny fan. I think should we like be equating like Bungie and Destiny to kind of like really souring a lot of what's happening
In a way, right?
and
But like,
Activision because that was Activision at the time.
but Destiny was a good idea for Bungie, right? Like they came up with that. They had a good plan and a good roadmap for that. And when Destiny was first coming out, it was being compared much more to an MMO than it was just
Yeah,
being called a live service thing. I just remember
yeah.
everyone saying this is like a mini MMO instead of it being a live service thing. So really, MMOs kind of
Are
kicked this
MMOs
off.
just
The
maybe
live
if an
service
MMO came
games.
out now, is it just a live service game?
I mean, they kind of are, right? Like Final Fantasy 14, we see that game all the time
A
with new
live service
trailers, new
RPG?
expansion, and stuff like that. Like that is a live service game for the most part.
Yeah, just an RPG
Like,
version.
what's really the difference between? I mean, there's a bunch of differences between Destiny and Final Fantasy, but like as far as like their roadmap and the way they put out content and stuff like that, they're very similar.
The only difference, and this is like a very fine difference, is that like a lot of the major MMOs have a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So like WoW has one
That's a good
and
point.
Final Fantasy 14 does.
Yeah,
So like that is like a little different. The only things that a live service game a lot of them have is like a battle pass. That's not fully a subscription because you could still play them without that.
sure.
I think you can play like a little bit of WoW and 14 without having a subscription, but I think the game you need it. So I guess that's the only real difference there.
Yeah, it's just I think the major takeaway with live service games that I'm seeing is just you can't give it to a great studio and expect it to just work. Even if it's a great game, there's a huge luck element. I feel like with live service games or just the,
There's already too many.
yeah, there's so many, and it's gonna be so hard to drag people away from the one they're already super into, and it's got to be super fun, right? And so you're better off taking a bunch of chances with smaller double A type of projects with live service games and hoping those pan out than you are pouring all this money into big AAA live service games, right?
Yeah, or just maybe make a good AAA game and not a live service game, like
Sure.
Hogwarts Legacy that made you a ton of money, or Mortal Kombat 1.
And that's my question with WB, I think, is like, if is Hogwarts Legacy not enough money for you, Like, if that's not enough
Best
money,
selling game of the year.
right? If that's not enough for you guys, then maybe you should just bow out of gaming because it's like, what's the point of this then? If your only hope to in these execs' minds is to have a live service game that's ongoing and is constantly turning in money like that, if that's their only hope for being successful, then you should just bow out because it's very unlikely you're gonna get one of those.
Yeah, like what? So like so if even if like a so this is like a WB here, but like so if EA, they want probably a bunch of live service stuff. It's like, so does like a new Dead Space even have a chance, or does like a new Mass Effect, or does that new Dragon Age, like, and does that even have like a chance?
Right.
Or are they just going to keep sticking with their sports games and live service games? And then in the sense of WB, is it just going to be what? Yeah, like what's their future with live service for WB? Because Suicide Squad's not it. I know
No.
there's some good parts of Suicide Squad. I still want to play it, but like that's not it. Gotham Knights, which was live servicey, that's not it. What has been it for you has been your single player stuff.
Right.
So we don't even know what your future live service is like.
Yeah.
Like I think at least EA, we have a slight chance or a slight vision of what it could be. There's sports stuff, like Apex, stuff like that. Whatever Battlefield stuff they could do. So like at least with EA, we know like what their vision could be for that. But I don't know. WB's weird. I have no
Yeah,
idea
I
what
mean,
they're
they got the Quidditch game coming out, right? Maybe they're banking on that doing pretty
doing.
well.
That's the mobile one, right?
I think it's gonna work on mobile, but I think it's also coming to consoles and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, I just don't know, man. It's if your whole business strategy is dependent on having a successful live service game, it's good luck, because it's very hard to make one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a failing business right there.
And you just look at their successes on the single player side. Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, man, that game was huge. That was the second best selling game that year. It's a Mortal Kombat and Hogwarts, both in the top 10 last year. Hogwarts being number one of the only games to outsell Call of Duty in the year that's not a Rockstar game, right? And it's just,
And we're not going to make another one of those.
yeah, and it's just absolutely insane.
What? What do you
Or if they
mean?
do, it'll be a live service thing, and it's just like,
Oh,
it's just
no.
absolutely insane that's not successful enough for you guys.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's and it's the same thing on PlayStation side. It's like you guys aren't gonna. I'm clearly there. The Last of Us with Naughty Dog isn't gonna work out. So I mean, they canceled it, right? And it's just the same thing on that end, where it's you can't shoehorn it into these studios, and it's just like, okay, is Concord or Fair Games gonna work? Maybe, but probably not. It's the same type of risk.
Yeah, I guess with those two, it's like at least those are like studios that are built and haven't really made another game yet, so they don't really have like an identity yet.
Yeah, like I don't blame PlayStation for wanting to get in that space, right? It's like, of course you're gonna want to, and you should probably try to get into that space, but don't bank on Concord or Fair Games working. Like I wouldn't pour so much money in a Concord or Fair Games that they're now, like don't be pouring $300 million in a Fair Games because it's probably not gonna work.
Yeah, I guess you got to test the water, and then as soon as it starts working, pump it up, right?
Yeah.
something like that.
And they're probably pleasantly surprised with how well Helldivers 2 is working, right? So it's like,
Yeah, they
lean more
weren't
into that
marketing that
direction.
game that much that I could tell.
Not at all, really. Like Foam Stars was getting more marketing than that game.
Foam Stars definitely. Square was marketing Foam Stars for sure.
Square was marketing Foam Stars. They're marketing the
They're
shit
like,
out of Foam Stars.
we know this game only can sell so much. We're gonna
Yeah.
get it out there.
Yeah. So ultimately, yeah, I just think you're better off going the AA route with these live service games. Hoping one of those pans out. Just focus on making it fun because you do not need heavy graphics and all that stuff for live service games.
Honestly, I would just say focus on fun or just the game without high fidelity visuals in every aspect of video games right now.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, that'll definitely pull back budget, right?
yeah, and that's like a lot of these games' problem is like money, right? So like, I don't know, maybe let's just tone high fidelity back just a bit. We all want frame rate anyways, so let's just tone down the graphics just a hair.
Yeah.
Because you know what game doesn't have it has really good graphics. You know what game doesn't have the highest end graphics I've ever seen, and it's still better than almost every video game out there? Is Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the highest fidelity game I've ever seen, but it is better than most video games.
Not at all. But then you get these chumps online, Daniel, that'll sit here and complain about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, when that is like legitimately one of the best looking games I've ever seen, and they're still all just like, it looks kind of gray on fucking performance mode, you know?
Whatever, dude.
Shut
Whatever.
up. Like,
What a bunch of losers.
People are making such a big deal out of that, Daniel, and it drives me insane. It really does. Because like I look at it on performance mode and I'm just like, what is wrong with this? Like, it's at a very stable 60 frames. Everyone shut the fuck up.
Perfect.
Like, shut up. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, unless you actually seeing graphical like glitches, right? Then it's like, oh man.
Well, yeah, that's obviously a problem. But
Yeah.
like that's not what's happening there. It just looks worse. It just you could definitely tell it looks better on the graphical mode than you can on the performance mode.
And it should be because different modes.
Yeah, obviously, and that's getting worse and worse as this generation goes on, and we're seeing more games actually built for these consoles, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's just it grinds my gears.
Mm-hmm.
People complain about that. It's like that, and then people complain about the length of like Spider-Man and stuff. It's just like, oh my
I want more games that length. Are you kidding me right
Shut
now?
up. It could be less long, you know? It's like,
yeah,
man, you guys are going to be in for a rude awakening if we go back to 360 era and it's 8-hour games, you know?
Yeah, 10 to 8-hour games.
Yeah, it's
we've even talked about like I think you can cut out some of Spider-Man 2 and it could be a better game.
100%,
you know?
100%. Dude, Final Fantasy 16 was the number one
yeah,
example of this for me. Is like, you could have cut out all the open world stuff and made that game extremely linear, and I think it probably would have been a better game for it.
Like 7 Remake.
Yeah.
Make it a little more linear. I mean, even 7 Remake I could have cut a little bit, but like make it linear, a linear 16 and not that semi-open sections. Just make it more of a linear game.
Yeah. Well, considering like in Final Fantasy 16, the open world parts of that game were just very bad too, I thought, and a lot of the side quests were really not well done, I thought, in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a lot of that could have just been cut, and it would have been a better game for it.
Yeah, and it would have been cheaper, and you could have made it quicker.
Exactly. You know, could have got out a year earlier or whatever. Could have been a little bit cheaper, and you still could have kept the fidelity and all that. You know,
it probably could have made that game in like 4 years, cutting a lot out of it. You know, and then you could already be churning out your next game. It's like we need to go back to games being shorter development times. You know, like the scope. I've been saying that I don't want to sound like I'm preaching because it's like I've been talking about this as long as we've been doing the show. Like how these games are insane.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
The scope is big. The budgets are big. The game's taking too long.
Yeah,
and we're just keep seeing ramifications of that.
Yeah. Now, I wonder if we do get to that, will people actually put their money where their mouth is and not buy these games then, you know? Because everyone complains like, hey, I'm not buying an 8-hour game for $70, you know? Well, will people actually not then? That'd be my question. If Last of Us Part 3 comes out and it's 8 hours, people not going to buy it? It's an interesting question.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd love to see what that.
Yeah, I would love to know.
And maybe I know that this wouldn't happen. This is me being an idealist right now, even though I'm mostly a realist. Is maybe if they became shorter budgets, quicker times, maybe the game price doesn't have to go up so much. We could stay at 70 for a long time, right? I know
Sure.
it's probably not going to go down from 70. We still probably get some scales, double A's maybe being 40, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like triple A being at 70 for a while, maybe we could stay there instead of going to 80 quicker. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to be 80 quicker, than the length. We were at 60 for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna guess the pace we're going, we're gonna get to 80 faster than we did 70.
Yeah. Unless I, I would definitely see it happening at the beginning of next gen, as soon as
Yeah, that's
PS6
not that
next
long.
Xbox game. No, I mean we're only 4 years away from it, right? As soon as the next gen consoles come out, I definitely think we'll be at 80 on those. And I wonder if one of these games has the balls to do it now, do it even beforehand. And the one
Take
I
two.
would guess is GTA, right? Yeah,
Take two would.
if anyone's gonna have the balls to do that, it would be them.
They could sell that game for $100 and everyone would buy it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gonna not buy GTA 6? Okay.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that, buddy.
We'll see about that.
We'll see.
I don't
We'll
believe you.
see.
I don't believe you. I wish they would come out and be like, "Hey, it's only 30 hours or whatever," you know.
Yeah, or even
see,
less.
see how people will react to that. I guess they'll have the online to back them up, and that's like endless
Yeah,
hours of
that's true.
content, so it wouldn't really matter too much. But
Yeah, we made a 20-hour GTA, but online's got a ton of content.
yeah, I wonder how people would react to that. All right, well, we'll move on. Keep an eye on WB.
You think real quick, last thing, do you think that this could mean they're trying to maybe still looking to sell the games division?
I don't know. I
Think
don't
they're
know.
going to go back to that? They're finding success, but this doesn't. The way it's panning out, if they're going to go to live service, it's not going to be.
You might as well sell it if the number one best selling game of last year isn't enough for you. You know, if that's not enough, then you might as well sell the whole game side because you're not doing better than that. You know, and it's like a really, unless one of these live service games comes through and really hits for you guys, which I don't see happening. Maybe the Quidditch game, I don't know, but yeah, I just don't see you guys getting lucky and hitting a live service game that's gonna be as big as Fortnite or whatever.
Yeah, I'd kind of keep my ear to the ground for that and see if like maybe in the next couple years they start looking like they might sell that division.
Yeah. All right. Our next news story, then, I'll give us some Xbox stuff. Just in time
Oh
for
wait, one more story.
Ooh.
Go to the Rooster Teeth one. That's part of the same thing.
Oh yeah, we would have got there. Oh, is that part? Oh yeah, I guess that is kind of part of this. Okay, we can continue that then. Rooster Teeth is shutting down after its parent company tried to sell it off, but was unsuccessful in their attempts to sell Rooster Teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
in that parent company is WB.
Yeah. Okay, good point. So, Danielle, I know you got much more of an attachment to Rooster Teeth than I do. So, go ahead.
Yeah. So have you ever? So what is your attachment? I should say. real quick?
I mean, I've seen like Red vs Blue back in the day, but yeah. Other than that, not really much.
Never really like any of their podcasting stuff.
No, not
or
really.
Or their YouTube stuff. Nothing like that.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, they've been around for I think a little over 20 years now as like a brand. Yeah, I think they sold initially to some other company in like 2014. So since then, they have not been like technically a private company and all that. And it's kind of been it wasn't immediately rocky for Rooster Teeth at that point, but that is when it started to change with the whole company. So since then, then they got bought again, and then they got bought by WB. They've been a part of WB for a little while now. And the content is just, they've lost a lot of people over the years, and I think their views have been down, money's been down if their views are down, and they can't really do much with a brand like that. And it's just kind of crazy that a brand that has been going for so long, like a Rooster Teeth, who was just a seminal company, they've been going for so long that they could just shut a brand down like this without thinking. Like, there's so many people there, and I don't know how they couldn't get this brand to actually have viewers. I don't understand. I don't know what they did or didn't do really. I don't really watch them as much as I used to, but they kind of let go of the Achievement Hunter brand, and they kind of split off. They have a bunch of little groups, or they did, like Funhouse. We've talked about Funhouse before. I liked a lot of those guys. Like, that's a Rooster Teeth brand. So I guess Funhouse is gone. All the people that work there.
Do you think that was the downfall, is breaking off into all these like smaller pages and stuff?
They initially had a few,
Yeah.
like Funhouse and Achievement Hunter and stuff, and then Rooster Teeth by itself was still kind of a brand. I think with having like those three brands was enough, you know. And then they really started like splitting even more. Um, and I just think that that was probably them just trying to find different avenues of revenue. Um, so I don't know necessarily think that that was a bad idea. They were just, I think, just trying to find a way to make money. But I think that I think I think the thing that they should have done was initially selling themselves
Mhm.
in 2014. I forget who bought them in 2014, but they should not have done that. They should not have expanded so large. They started doing a lot of animation, like Ruby, and they did a couple other shows and stuff. Red versus Blues still has been going, but they should not have expanded the way they did. They should have just kept it kind of smaller, internet. Like they were one of the first big like companies in YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Like they weren't just like, you know, a one face person on YouTube. They were a brand, and
Hmm.
like they were definitely one of the first big ones. And like to see a company like that just go away. They just, I guess, couldn't evolve with the online sphere. Like Let's Plays are still pretty big, but like they're definitely different now, you know? They're shorter videos and all that kind of stuff. Um yeah, it's very sad. I have a lot of emotional tie to the company. I've been watching them for a long time, especially Achievement Hunter, like in particular, that brand. Um, like I went down and I think it was 2015. I went and saw they did Let's Play Live where they did like a live show and they kind of put on an event down there and played games live and stuff like that, and that was really cool. Got to like take a few pictures with some of them. Um, and like yeah, that was like really the last trip I had with my dad that year, before he passed and stuff. Like I have a lot of emotional tie like to this brand. It got me through a lot of dark times, and just to see it kind of evaporate, you know,
Has
it's
it
kind of
kind of been
crazy.
slowly dying over the years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd say probably realistically, probably 2019 for sure.
Mm.
That was definitely the slow turn. COVID literally put the nails in the coffin.
Did it? Okay.
It wasn't that the content I don't think was bad. Um, During like the early days of like COVID and like 2020. I still think they were putting out really fun let's plays and stuff, but I don't know what happened, if it was like audience just scattered. I don't know. I don't know what happened around that point, but right around then it was kind of over.
Yeah. Sucks to see, man. I mean, hopefully all those people able to find jobs somewhere. It's
I mean, I don't know
tough,
what they're going
man.
to do.
I mean, yeah, good luck. I mean, games media, hard space to break into, so
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even really consider them a lot of games media, right?
right.
They're more like Twitch streamer. Like a lot of them did do Twitch streams and stuff. Like if I'm thinking ideally, this is like me being positive and trying to like think of something that they could do, is that maybe this was a blessing in disguise. I know that this is not going to happen, but let me think this for a minute so I can be happy.
Let you dream, Daniel.
Let me dream. My dream would be they kept, you know, all the main people. I don't know everyone in Rooster Teeth as much as I used to, but like a lot of the main people, like Michael and Jeff or whatever, they kind of kept a lot of those people and just did a Patreon or something,
Mm.
and they did a new brand, rebrand, new thing, and
Maybe
they
they
kind of,
all reform something.
yes,
Yeah.
I don't want to say like cut the fat as in like maybe don't get everyone back. Like I want people to have their jobs, but like maybe don't have all 100 and 200 people wherever they had. Cut it to whatever.
Jesus, they were that big.
I think they were like 152. Well, they also
Wow.
had an
Okay.
animation department,
Okay.
so that's why. But yeah, say it's like I don't know, 20 people or whatever, 20 like like a group of content creators or something that can like be sustainable. You know,
Mhm.
like maybe this would be a good way to get their independence back, and
Mm.
they haven't really had that for 9 years or whatever. You know, but that's just a dream. I think I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see.
Can always dream. Can always dream. Yeah, I always remember the Red vs. Blue cameo thing, and I think it was Halo 3, right? They were like knocking on the door in like that one level, and you could like hear the
Yes,
one
it
guy's
was.
voice. Yeah.
So I think. I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and look. I think they did it at different difficulties. Was a different person.
Oh, was
I
it?
think
Was that
I
how
think
it went?
like Jeff did one, and then I think Gus did one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a lot of the older guys from Red versus Blue.
Yeah. That was always a
So
cool
good.
camp. I think that's how
I
I
mean,
heard about them as first. I was like, "Who's this?"
well, they also did
Like I remember, like
Griffball.
one of my friends something like that. Did they really?
That's their thing. Is
Really?
Rooster Teeth.
So what?
Yeah,
Like one of
Griffball.
them made that
I mean,
in the custom
yeah.
playlist,
Mhm.
and
Griff
that's where it came
is
from.
Griff is Jeff's character. Griff.
Ah, I never knew that. Never knew that. Man, love
Yeah.
me some fucking Griffball, man. Griffball is fun as
Yeah,
fuck.
dude. Griffball's awesome.
Fucking love Griffball.
Griffball's so cool.
Griffball was so fun back in the day. All right. Well, yeah, man, sucks.
I mean,
Shitty to
yeah. I mean, some Funhouse people like
Yeah.
James and Elise. They're
Oh,
on
yeah.
kind of funny a lot. Like,
Yeah.
that's fun. Like, they don't have a job right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hopefully they ain't laying back on their feet. Imagine
Yeah,
a lot
right.
of them can survive off being Twitch streamers and stuff like that for a little while, right?
You would think some of them. I mean, some of them
Yeah.
probably weren't. Some of them were editors or stuff like that.
Yeah, of
But
course people like that, but like James and Elise in particular, I'd imagine. I mean, they're pretty big names.
they're
so-
also I think they do some comedy writing and
Do
stuff.
they?
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, they'll probably be okay. But yeah, I hope them all the best. And man, it's very sad for me.
Yeah, man. Good luck to everyone. All right, let's move on then. Got some more news stories. Try to rip through these.
Do it.
Just in time for the Fallout TV show premiere next month. Xbox has released a new Fallout themed controller exclusively on the Xbox Design Lab website. There's also a new trailer for the Fallout TV show. It just came out today, premiering April 11th. All episodes. Daniel, Fallout controller. Look pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice controller. I saw that and I thought of you. I was like, oh, I wonder if
Mm.
Connor's seen this yet.
I'd
Yeah,
be more
it
into
looks
it
cool.
if it was just like the traditional blue and yellow Fallout, you know?
Oh,
and
like more
yeah.
Pip-Boy looking.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
give me that. Put a 101 on the back. I'd probably buy it then. I like the controller, don't get me wrong. Not something I was like, oh, I gotta buy this, but it looked cool nonetheless.
Mhm. Yeah, or I guess another method they could do. What's the name of the armor? Like
The
I
power
guess
armor?
it's power armor, but what's the dudes again?
The Brother to Steel.
Do like a brother to steel one.
Oh,
pretty
that'd be
too.
cool. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. You'd have to like add
More
like
power
hints of
army?
green type of thing in
Yeah.
there. Yeah. No, it's a cool controller. Xbox, man, they just kill it with controllers, so.
Yeah, man, PlayStation. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the PlayStation controllers, but like, do a design lab type thing. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's
What are you
amazing they
doing?
haven't done that yet. Because how long has the Design Lab been around for?
It's been
Years
years
now, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy they never. I don't know. Maybe they just don't see profit in it, but
I mean,
It's
if
fun.
Xbox can, why would PlayStation not?
yeah, true. I mean, I don't know. It's but yeah, I wish they'd get on that because the Design Lab is a very cool thing. All right, next up then, Xbox held a partner showcase yesterday and go over a few of the things there. Didn't you get a chance to watch it?
I did. I
Cool.
kind of had it on, kind of in the background. It's kind of more.
Yeah, I kind of
updates.
did the same thing. I didn't really pay like too close attention.
Yeah, it's kind of like updates and stuff. There was one game that I mean, it's
I
only
also have one game. I wonder if it's the same game.
I think it is. It only had like a cinematic trailer, but like what they are
it's
promising.
maybe a different game.
Okay, maybe is it what they're
I'll
promising?
my game was The Altars. I thought this game looked fucking
Okay.
awesome. I
Okay.
was like, this game looks
It
fucking
seemed like a
cool.
Connor game. That was not it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that looked very fun to me. Really trippy sci-fi thing going on here. I know it's like a survival game, but it also looked like a sort of a sim builder type thing where you're...
Yeah, I was getting Fallout Shelter vibes.
Yeah,
on
a
some of
lot
the
of like
stuff.
Fallout Shelter vibes, a little bit of like Animal Crossing in there, a little stuff like
Yeah.
that too, you know. But then there's some survival elements, obviously, but wrapped in this cool sci-fi weird story where this man's like cloning himself, but he has like alternate versions of himself as well that are helping him work on whatever this giant circle apartment he's building is. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. And it's a giant wheel and the apartment moves, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it looks really
cool.
fucking cool. Looks really fucking cool to me. So yeah, I definitely will be keeping my eye on that one. What is your game?
Yeah, the one game that stuck out to me was a brand new announcement of a game because, like, I think we've seen the Altars before. Yeah, I think that I think it was called Sleight of Hand.
Sleight of
Is that
Hand,
what
the card one, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a card-based stealth game. I don't know how it's gonna work because it was like a CG trailer, but like you're supposed to be sneaking around and you're like play as like a witch with cards. It seems
Here,
really
let
cool.
me let me read this. Sleight of Hand is billed as a third-person mix of stealth, action, and deck building, set in a rain-soaked city and centered around the protagonist, Lady Luck. You'll use her smoke-based spells and cursed deck of cards to take on a sinister coven. Okay.
Yeah, so in like the trailer, you kind of get hints that she was a part of the coven and is now not a part and is like going against them now. And yeah, she's like doing like actually I think the card said missed step, which is actually funny because like number one, sleight of hand is a skill in D&D. And then number two, Misty Step is a spell. So she kind of uses Misty Step. So I wonder if there's like a little like loose D&D like spell connections to it. But yeah, I wonder how that works with cards. So it's like, is it going to kind of be the visual? So kind of bear with me here. A visual look of Neon White, where it's first person, you see your cards and then you use them, and that's your moves.
Mm. I don't know. Do you think it's almost because it says third person? So is it almost like you encounter
Third
an
person,
enemy
yeah.
and then it goes into the card thing? You know,
So turn
like
like
almost, yeah,
it's
turn based, I guess. Yeah,
yeah. See, that's why I need to see gameplay because I'm so fascinated by
yeah,
this
because we
concept.
did only get the cinematic. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
I want to
interesting. Cool world. You know, like I like the vibe of it. The
very
art style was
noir.
cool. Yeah. It was like kind of Dishonored-y a little bit too
Hmm.
going on there. So yeah, I like the vibe of it for sure. Yeah, I need to see gameplay, but it definitely sounds cool.
Yeah, and I know you like your stealth games too. So
Yeah, sometimes,
sometimes, oh, okay,
sometimes.
okay.
Other things announced were the Stalker original trilogy coming to Xbox. I think that was a shadow drop, right?
Yeah, it was like it was either leaked or like there were rumors that this was going to happen.
Okay.
Um,
Persona 3
yeah.
Reload expansion pass coming out soon. I know this is the big thing here is one of the DLCs that was released for like the Royale edition back in the day of I know they didn't call it that, but whatever the fuck you want to call it of
Hmm.
Persona 3 back in the PS2 there was like a I don't know what they would have called it back then. Kingdom Hearts used to call it the final mix versions, you know. So
Yeah.
whatever they call it then. Anyways, this is the DLC from that, so it will be released in September.
Yeah,
And it's
I
supposed to
kind of want
take
to check
place like
this out.
after the main story of the of
Okay.
Persona 3 Reload, so
Yeah, I
gives
do
you
want
some
to check
time to
this
beat
out.
it and then jump into this, I guess. It's free, so whatever.
It's gonna take me a while to even get to Persona 3.
Yeah, I also
Like,
very much want to play this game
I
sometime
kind of want
this
to
year.
play it. I mean, maybe. I don't
Maybe?
know.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't
Maybe if
know.
games would stop coming out for a goddamn
How
second.
long is Persona 3? Because it's like what, 50 hours? It's
I don't
definitely
know.
shorter, right?
Oh, is it? I have
I
no
think
idea.
so.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a 100-hour game.
Okay. Okay. So maybe maybe it isn't. But yeah, so there'll be DLC for that released in September. Anything else catch your eye from this? No, Final Fantasy 14
Uh,
coming out March 21st for Xbox.
yeah, it was just kind of a nice little update of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean nothing really. It's like it was just that new announcement of Sleight of Hand was pretty cool. What was the Capcom game?
Oh
What's
yeah,
the name of that game?
the Japanese game
It's coming. It's like the Game Pass game.
or
That
the
game looked interesting.
yeah.
It was different than I thought it would be. Like it seems like you're trying to guide this maiden, and you're like trying to solve puzzles and allowing her to like go through the world.
Yeah, it did seem
Like it's
interesting.
not like a pure action game like I
Yeah,
thought it
it's
would.
interesting Capcom's still putting out these kind of smaller titles while they're also releasing their bigger games at the same time, right?
I mean, they're killing it. Capcom, do whatever you want to do right now.
Mm.
But what I
You do
want
no
you to
wrong.
do is bring Mega Man back in any way.
Ooh, that's what you want.
I like Mega Man 11. That was a really fun Mega Man game. But like, make other Mega Man games, please. Anything. Give me a Battle Network. I'll take a regular like Mega Man 12. Anything.
Yeah, it is odd. That seems to be the only one right now where it's like they're just not doing anything with it.
Yeah, Monster Hunter's flourishing, Resident Evil's flourishing,
Yeah,
everything they do. Dragon's Dogma is getting a sequel.
yeah.
It's like, what's
That's the funny
happening
one,
with you,
right?
Capcom?
Yeah, yeah.
Make Mega Man.
Just need that Dino Crisis.
Yeah, Dino Crisis. I mean, people want that. I've never played them, and they seem
I
cool. I
never have
like
either.
they're just Resident Evils with dinosaurs. I
Yeah,
want
I
that.
mean that sounds very fun to me. So
Yeah, me too.
I would like to see that as well. All right, moving on then. Ghost of Tsushima will be the next PlayStation game to get a PC release. The director's cut of the game will release on May 16th later this year. Daniel,
Hmm.
Ghost of Tsushima coming to PC.
Yeah,
Took a
so
while.
it did take a while for that one. So yeah, it's really great that it's getting the directors. I think there was that DLC. I forget the name of it. That big piece of DLC. I never got to play that one, but
Island of something. What the fuck
yeah, it
was
was
that?
definitely an island for sure.
Can't remember. I played it
Um,
for like a minute.
oh, that's right. You did check it out for a bit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if you beat it,
It was
but
very purple. No, I didn't beat it.
very purple. See, this is another. So there are like two games in my mind that have like increased in my like of them over time. One of them is Control. Like I really liked Control in 2019, but as time has went on, it's not like I've played it again, but it's like I just like the game more and more over time. And Ghost of Tsushima is I think another one. I think those two games, like if you remember, we were doing the show at the time. I really liked Ghost of Tsushima, but I still think it was more of like a traditional kind of open world game, stuff on the map, kind of like a Assassin's Creed type game. But definitely over time, Ghost of Tsushima has kind of risen in my like of that game. So, where is the sequel, Sucker Punch? I mean, tick tock, tick tock. It's already been 4 years.
Yeah, you gotta imagine next year, right? Hopefully.
Please, please, please. Yeah,
Yeah,
but good for PC. These PC people, they get to check out an awesome game.
yeah, I like the game quite a bit as well. Not my favorite particularly, but I definitely enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima. Looking forward to a sequel.
Yeah, me too.
I know they said that part of the reason that this one is taking longer is that there's a bunch of new employees at Nixxes, who's the PlayStation studio that they bought just to
Oh.
make the PC ports.
Hmm.
And so this is kind of one of their first attempts at a lot of new employees pointing the game to
Uh-oh.
PC.
Hopefully it's okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's all right. I don't know. We'll have to see here. I know Nixxes, they've done a few games now. They haven't done all the PlayStation games, but they've done. I know the Spider-Man games go through them. A couple others, you know. But
Yeah,
then
they've
there's
had a little bit of problems with PC ports.
PlayStation has in particular. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like
PlayStation particularly.
the Last of Us Part One. That was just done by Naughty Dog, and I think that was the big problem with that one is that Naughty Dog has never made a game for
That one was the
PC.
worst one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst one for sure. And then they had that other studio who's doing a different port now too that did the God of War one, and that one was supposed to be very good, from what
Yeah,
I
the God of War
remember.
I think has been their better one because I think
Yeah,
like Horizon had a few issues, and I think
yeah,
the Spider-Man games have had a few issues.
yeah.
But nothing like Last of Us. That was the worst one. But I
That
think
was the
yeah,
worst
God
one
of
for
War I
sure.
remember being like pretty
Yeah, I remember
good.
people praising that one on
Yeah, I don't
how
think that
well
one
it
had
ran on
many
PC.
issues.
Yeah, and that was a completely different studio, so maybe
Hmm.
they should look at those guys more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, too long I think for Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, 4 years. You guys should have done this way earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, it's they need to I think we're gonna see that. Like PlayStation will be putting out games to PC much quicker.
Yeah, I wonder how quick we get to day and date. You know.
Yeah, that's yeah. See, I think they kind of need to suck up their pride, and I feel like we're gonna get a PlayStation that kind of like that happens too soon. Like
Yeah.
I think we're almost there.
They're definitely looking at it with the success of Helldivers, and then I wonder. I think it'll depend how successful Concord and Fair Games are on PC, because those will be day and date. Oh, I guess we don't know Fair Games, but we know Concord right now will be day and date on PC. So I think they'll be looking at that, and obviously those are different type of games too. So I don't know. I'd be very curious to see what a big single player AAA game does day one on PC.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try it out and see if it's worth it.
Yeah, because I mean we talked about it before, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table by not putting it out day one.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get it's that hype cycle is real.
That hype cycle, everyone talking about it at the same time, you know, people lose interest over time. They play different games, and
Too many games.
yeah, it's like, okay, you release Ghost of Tsushima 4 years later. How interested are they right now? You know, how
Yeah,
interested are PC players in May in Ghost of Tsushima? You know,
yeah, because there's new games popping up all the time.
yeah,
Like you got to ride that marketing cycle when you're doing it. You
yeah.
know?
And like, how big's the marketing cycle going to be in May? You know, I don't know what's releasing in May. I mean, there's a couple games coming out, but it's like, okay, maybe games media is pretty much all
I think it's
talking about some
Hellblade.
other Hellblade. There's probably some other smaller stuff, and it's just games media is probably focusing more on those games because they're newer and not so much on the PC release of Ghost of Tsushima because most of them played it
Yeah,
4 years ago, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see. I know. I think Horizon's later this month, so maybe
Yeah, it
that.
had a date. I can't remember because they were showing PC specs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one came much quicker than Ghost did. It's crazy because it
Yeah,
was
that's
released
true.
later.
I mean, we're gonna get Ragnarok and Last of Us 2 soon, probably.
Yeah, I'd imagine those are next up. They still got to do that Demon Souls by the remake by Blue Point at some
Supposed to
point.
get a Is that supposed to get a PC port?
I mean, no, but they got to, right? Like I'd imagine that would do fairly well over on PC.
Yeah, yeah. I guess they're just now getting to this game, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, I would even start looking at their older catalog, right? Like, where's that
The
Nathan Drake
collections.
collection? Yeah,
Yeah.
like do that on PC. Do like, obviously, I don't know if they want to go all the way back to PS3, but you can do like the other infamous game. There's I mean, there's rumors of Gravity Rush 2 getting a remaster or whatever for that on
I mean, I
PC.
would start doing all the kind of collection type things if they want to start testing stuff. Like
Yeah,
put the Sly collection, put the Jack collection, put like do a couple Ratchet collections, right? Like do stuff like
I'm
that, and
gonna do
then
that. Update them and put them on PS5 as well. you know,
make them
I mean,
make them
in
playable.
particularly for the Sly collection, right?
I
It's
know. I want to play the Sly game so bad.
yeah. All right. Well, we will see what PlayStation does next with their PC ventures. Next up, then, some more details for Assassin's Creed Red have been provided to Insider Gaming. The game is being developed on a upgraded engine and will feature two main protagonists, and combat will be similar to Assassin's Creed Valhalla while having a major focus on stealth, similar to Splinter Cell, they say. Also, the settlement building from Valhalla will be making a return, and we can expect improvements on that as well. Daniel, getting a lot more details on Assassin's Creed Red. Ubisoft got to just be doing this on purpose, right? Like, they're just like, all right, let's get the hype cycle
Leaking info.
going. Let's get the marketing going a little bit,
Anybody got Tom Henderson
put
on the
out
phone?
put out some teases. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just texting him on the side. Like,
Yeah. Here, hey
hey
Tom.
Tom, put out some free marketing for us so we can just show a trailer in June and be done with it.
You were saying Valhalla too much in that sentence, in that
Did I?
paragraph.
Did I
Yeah,
say it? Did I say it
yeah,
multiple times?
yeah. I don't need to hear that
They
Valhalla has
did.
combat. No, I know. I don't need to hear that the combat's like Valhalla. I don't need to hear that the settlement is like Valhalla. So what is the length going to be like Valhalla too? Because I'm not going to play it if it is.
Probably is. Probably is.
Insane. You're taking. They are taking the wrong stuff.
Yeah, I don't like hearing that the combat's like Valhalla because I did not like the combat in Valhalla. I just don't like the combat in the recent Assassin's Creed games. I don't know, man. It used to be so. I feel crazy every time I talk about this because like I feel like I'm wrong, but like I'm not wrong. I feel like the combat used to be great. Like I
Yeah,
remember it being very like slow paced back in the day, really picking your enemies wisely, and like you're really waiting and like locking onto a guy, and then you make your move. And you go back and wait again and like stuff like that. And now it's just like I don't know. The more recent ones, when I played Odyssey for a little bit or the Origins, I just remember it being very button mashy, and you're just kind of like waiting for that ability thing to load, and then you press that and kill the enemy, and then just move on. And very they've just been jack of all trades, master of none for a while now with these games. They're not great anywhere. They're just pretty good everywhere, and I don't know. I haven't liked that. And then certainly the length has been a problem, I know, for me and you of the recent giant RPG Assassin's Creed games because it's just such a daunting task. It's like, hey, you want to play Assassin's Creed for 8 hours with mediocre combat? Not really, man. Not really.
yeah. I'm with you with the old school combat. We bring that up all the time. I think you should check out Assassin's Creed Syndicate because it was the last one to really have that, and it's the
Yeah,
most underrated. It's what's probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game,
it's crazy.
and that's crazy to say because I love Ezio.
I
And
just
it's
so
like
dipped out after three.
I
It's
know.
just
Um, yeah, I'm excited for Red because I like the setting. I hope that they take the stealth part seriously. It seems like Tom is
seems
saying
like
that
they
they
are.
are.
Yeah.
If they're taking it seriously, I hope that I can play that way. And then that might get me in the door.
It's just what is seriously now with them and stealth, That's my question because every game
Yeah.
has fucking stealth now. Every game has the duck in the grass, you know, throw a fucking rock behind them, and then they turn around. Like, what was that? You know,
Hey.
that's hey, what was that? You know, let me look over here for 10 seconds. It was probably just the wind. And then
It
they
was
turn
just the
around.
win.
That's all they do. That's all they do. It's like every game does that. So what does upgraded stealth mean? You know, what does Splinter Cell like mean today?
So yeah, I guess what I take from that is like dynamic like physics and sound, right? Like, yeah, it is like pick up a bottle and throw it and break it, but like it needs to be a little more dynamic than that. So that's kind of how I take it. So like I wonder what that means in 2024.
You
And
have to do something else because you know what game had great stealth is the Plague Tale games. But those games have great stealth because of the rat mechanics.
the
You
rat
know?
mechanics, yeah.
Yeah. Like it is generic, throw the rock and shit like that too. But you can mix it in with stuff with the rats, which makes it unique and very fun on its own, right? So it's like
Yeah, they
you
have
almost
like the
need
fire.
something like that. I'm not saying you like fucking put rats in Assassin's Creed Rat. That's not what I'm saying. But like you need something to elevate it. You know, I
Yeah,
don't know
what's the
what that is. I'm
twist?
not a game developer, but like you need something to elevate it past the current day stealth that we see in every video game.
For sure. Yeah, what's the twist? What's the fire mechanic, or what's the like the thing that draws the rats and stuff like that? Like, you need to be able to have, so they're gonna do like powers or something? Like be more dishonored like or something like that?
Yeah, and
I
they
don't know.
have that type of shit in Valhalla too, right? Which like isn't very fun. So I don't.
See, I didn't play Valhalla, so I'm not too
I
sure.
did a little bit. I mean, they even have it in Odyssey a little bit too. With the, I'm just thinking of like those abilities that are kind of like
Oh,
on
the
the
ability,
side
but
that
yeah.
load up. So it's I don't know, man. It's I don't know. I have hope for Assassin's Creed Red because like you, I'm very much into the setting. It sounds very fun. It's something that all of us have wanted for Assassin's Creed for years now. Is the Japan setting. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I can't wait to see gameplay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we actually get to see something soon. Hopefully there's like a Ubisoft Forward or something
I gotta
coming up.
imagine they'll do one in the summer at some point in June.
Summertime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring
Because
out
like
those guys again for Skull and Bones. Have them sing.
this is not yeah. This is not officially like announced to release this year, I don't think so.
He says in the
Like
article later this year again, so he's reiterating that it's coming out this year. So I gotta imagine it is, but who knows? Maybe Outlaws gets a little bit delayed into the fall, and then they delay this into the spring. I could
do
see
we
a
have a
world with
date
doing
for
that.
Outlaws yet? Or
No,
just
but they
2024?
said first half or
What
somewhere
about
said first
maybe
half
May?
earlier. Yeah, May would be a great time for that. June would be a good time for that as well.
May 4th. Come on.
That'd be awesome. That'd be fucking great.
Release it on May
They need to
4th.
hurry up and announce that then, because that's only 2 months away.
That's soon.
So yeah, it's very soon. But we will see. We will see. Room for you, Ubisoft. Next up, then, according to Jeff Grubb, Respawn is in early development of a game set in the Titanfall universe, but as far as he knows, isn't Titanfall 3. Daniel, the Titanfall saga continues. Here we are again, with a little glimmer of hope.
I want to die. Please. What do we do? What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing? What's the world doing if we're not making Titanfall 3? You know?
What are we doing?
What's the point of humanity if we're not making Titanfall 3?
Yeah. Like, please, like Andrew Wilson, what are you doing?
What are we doing? Just make
What
Titanfall 3.
what are
we want.
doing?
That's all we fucking want.
What do we want Respawn to be doing?
Can I at least get like a Titanfall? I guess they already have a battle royale, but like I want one with the mechs.
How about we just
need the robots?
We just end Apex. Apex sucks. Get rid
So
of it.
that's what this is, right? This is some sort of Apex spinoff. Apex is in the Titanfall world. I don't think they'll ever call, even if we get a Titanfall 3, I don't think they'll call it Titanfall 3. I think they'll call it Apex something, because Apex is just a bigger name at this point, unfortunately.
Oh man.
And that was the plan with the canceled one, right? It was called Apex something, and it was like about the Apex characters, right?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
I
think
didn't
it
hear
was
about the
something like
name
that.
part.
Did you see the details on the canceled Star Wars game?
No.
It sounded fucking awesome, Daniel. It sounded fucking
Oh
awesome.
my
It's like a bounty
God.
hunter thing, more linear. You were going to different planets and you had like different bounties, but there were side objectives to go collect different bounties and just like kill an enemy, bring them back, tie them up, throw them on your ship or whatever. It's just like, man, that all sounds so cool. Can we just take whatever that was, whatever they're working on, call it Titanfall, and still have them put that out? Because I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, please.
Can we do that? That sounds very fun. It's just crazy to me because Respawn is built to be a first-person shooter team, and now they're they have more so become a third-person action adventure
Licensed
team.
Star Wars game.
Yeah,
team.
that is the. And don't get me wrong, I love the Jedi games, but it's like the team was built to be a first-person shooter team. You know,
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna throw this out here, okay? And you out.
throw it out there.
Would you rather them just constantly be making Star Wars Jedi games or first-person shooter Titanfall games?
I'd rather first-person shooter Titanfall games
Me too.
personally. We get so many third-person action adventure games, which I
Mhm.
love, but like I don't need more. You know,
And
What-
Respawn's tippity top.
what I do
FPS.
need is more single-player FPS games.
Yeah.
That's what I need personally.
Mm-hmm. I'm with
So,
you.
yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd
As
rather
much as I love the Jedi
Titanfall
games.
Yeah, it's if I had my choice, Titanfall 3 or Jedi 3, cancel Jedi 3.
We'll get more
Sorry,
Star
Cal.
Wars games somewhere else.
Sorry, Cal. Cal can pop up in a fucking. He can get a TV show on Disney Plus.
Yeah, give
You
whatever
know,
that guy, the actor's name. Call him
Yeah,
up. He'll be
we'll
fine.
finish it there. That's fine. Whatever.
Disney Plus needs more shows, so we're gonna finish
yeah,
it there.
it's whatever. You know, damn well Disney would be all over that anyway. So yeah, you can go finish that story there. Give me Titanfall 3. But whatever, probably never get that because that's where we live in.
I'm gonna blame Jeff Grubb. He
Yeah.
needs to stop.
But the original director of Titanfall 1 and 2 is supposed to be directing this as well, whatever this is. So I don't know. Very curious to see
forget
what
his
this
name.
is. Yeah, I will hold out hope that this just is Titanfall 3, but it's being called Apex, whatever the fuck.
That's, I guess, best scenario at this point.
Yeah, that's best case scenario, I think.
Can we call it Apex Titanfall
3.
3?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Apex Legends : Titanfall 3.
Then everyone wins, right?
Everyone wins. Everyone's happy. We all win. You guys make money. We get Titanfall
And
3.
it sells like 50 million copies.
Please.
And then we
But
can
no,
get
these
another
kids will just be playing their fucking Fortnite and going to their Disney World, you know?
one. Is that you doing a Fortnite dance?
That's what they do.
There you go. Yep.
Our last news story, Capcom has announced that it will be increasing its salary in Japan by 25% for all employees.
I just wanted
way to go there,
a
Capcom.
good story.
Way to go there, Capcom.
In this world of
Thank you.
dark.
Thank you, Japan. How about me and you move to Japan?
I
It just only covered the Japanese side of games, because I feel like we'll be living in a much happier world then.
honestly, I'll do that right now.
Mhm.
Let me call.
And we just
Let me
ignore
make some
everything
calls.
happening elsewhere. Like
please.
we're done. We're done. Me and Daniel will only play Japanese games. We're only
I'm
playing
gonna start speaking
JRPGs and
Japanese.
Nintendo games forever. Yeah, we'll do this podcast in Japanese. It'd be great. It'll be
Yeah.
great. I always had that idea is like if the podcast got big enough, we hire other people to do it in different languages.
Yeah, to
But
translate
they
it.
say exactly what we say, you know? Yeah, they just translate it. Be great. Like the Japanese Connor and Daniel, you know? The Spanish Connor and Daniel would be great.
I love that idea.
I love
That's
it.
great.
I love it too. Daniel, that's gonna do it for the news of the week. We'll now get into what we've been playing. Man, we really talked for a long time about that WB story. That killed us.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
what
big
happened
story. I mean, it's a big publisher. A lot there.
I don't know what happened there. We spent like 30 minutes on that. All right, whatever. Daniel, you know what? I'm gonna start because I really want to talk
Yeah.
about Final Fantasy.
I've only been playing. I can even just say real quick. I'm just.
Sure, yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
playing. I'm playing. Like a Dragon.
Okay.
I'm in chapter 8. Yeah, I think that's really all I've been playing. Still, trucking along, trying to get as much done as I can.
I'm in chapter 8 now, so getting up there.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there. I haven't been able to go back and beat the Sujimon stuff yet. I'm not quite like all of them at 30.
Okay.
Like I want to do one little spoiler. Like I'll put my hand up, little spoiler. I am playing as Kiryu right now. If that tells you where I am.
Cool. Back in Japan then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get into like those memories and stuff? I figured you'd really like.
I haven't
those.
seen any of that yet.
Oh, okay,
I have
okay.
not done much.
You
as
like
Kiryu
just got
yet.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. There's like these little like side objectives. You're gonna like it. You're gonna very much
I'm
like
doing
that.
the whatever they're called, the speech bubbles again.
Okay.
I see a bunch. I'm just running around doing that right now. I'm not really like,
maybe
doing the
progress
main-
just a little bit further in the main story and then do that because you're gonna unlock these memories things that
Oh, okay.
like very early on when you start playing as Kiryu in Japan.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah, do that and then run around more because
Okay.
they'll be all over the place and I think you'll really enjoy those.
Just another icon on there. I can see it, and I can
Yeah, exactly. They're all over the place.
Gotcha.
Okay then. I have been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm pretty
I'm
far
so
into
excited
it.
to
I am
hear.
in like chapter 7 now. I've probably played 30-ish hours.
Let's go. Let's
Played
go.
so much, dude. So much.
Well, you had a like a 3-day weekend, a 4-day
Yeah, I had
weekend,
a
right?
4-day weekend, so I was just fucking going for
That's
it.
awesome. I love it.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, this game's great. It's very fucking good thus far. So yeah, it's bit differently structured in than Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I think everyone's very curious about the open world aspects of it,
Hmm.
right? It's so how it's kind of broken up thus far. I'm only in chapter 7, so I don't know how it continues from here. Is it seems to be one big open world, and they're not like giant. I would say they're kind of smaller open worlds. They are pretty big though. Don't get me wrong, but one open world chapter, and then a very linear chapter, and then another open world chapter, and it kind of just went like that. Although now, chapter 6 and 7 were both very linear. Think more Final Fantasy VII remake than the open world ones. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see if there's another open world section or if it was just those two. I'd imagine there's like at least one more, considering how early I still feel like I'm in the game, at least like story wise. But we will see. So the open world stuff is actually very interesting. It is like your typical checklist stuff going on there. Ubisoft open world that is definitely in there, but definitely broken up into smaller pieces. I would say, because like I just said, one chapter's linear and one's open world. So it's kind of like the first one is. I thought it was just gonna be one giant open world, but no, it is just like a smaller. I think like God of War size, I guess, almost like
Okay,
whatever
sure.
like that first place is in God of War. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember the name. Whatever. It's about that size, I would call it. And it's like that size for both the two open world chapters thus far. And it's got they really nailed the addictive aspect of the open world. I think like they did a really good job. You could tell a lot of thought went into the placement of these things because it felt like they lined it up for me to have like one after another. Like one thing is right next to another thing. So it was just like a very addictive. Oh, I can go do this and then I can go do this because it's right here and that and that and that. It felt like they put a lot of thought into that, and that was interesting. One thing I got a knock for it is the towers that uncover the fog. Of course, they have that, and
Of course.
it is the worst fucking towers because they are just the most generic. There's an enemy in front of it, and there'll be like a little special enemy sometimes, like a different type of enemy that you wouldn't just see everywhere. But the towers are very poorly designed. No creativity in it at all with the tower part. But there is so much creativity in the rest of the side objectives I'm finding that are very Final Fantasy VII, if that makes sense to you.
Sure.
Like there was like an escort mission, right, in one of the side missions, right? But like it wasn't just an escort mission. It was also a very like emotional Barrett telling a story about him and Marlene the whole time, or something
Hmm.
like that. Or there was another side mission where like I thought it was just going to be generic. Hey, go get this thing for these kids, but these kids ended up turning you into slight spoiler. These kids end up turning you into a frog, and like it was like just this wacky thing. So like they put their own little fun Final Fantasy VII twists on it. It's like the side quests are such a big up. I've been thinking about Final Fantasy 16 a lot when I'm playing this, right? Just comparatively, because that's the last Final Fantasy 7 game I played. There's such an upgrade from that, where that was a lot of those missions just felt like fetch quests. These are not. These are very story heavy, very well. The side quests in particular, there aren't a lot of side quests. I think there was like 4 in the first area and 5 in the next one. And so there's a lot of thought and story put into those. And a lot of them will be focused on a particular character, right? Like there's one side quest that's very much focused on like Red, and he wanted to help out this group, and like, because he had a personal reason for that. And same thing with Tifa and Aerith and all that. So it seemed like one side quest in each of the area was very much tied to one of the main characters of the game.
They make it like abundantly clear.
Yeah. Like you'll talk to the NPC that has the side quest, and that character will pop up on the side of you and start chiming in on the conversation as well.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and stuff like that, and then they'll chime
Because
in
I'll do
throughout the
whatever
whole
Tifa
time.
needs me to do.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Take it to the beach, Daniel. Oh my god.
I
Oh
don't
my
think
god.
I'll be dead. I'm gonna die
They put
when that
some
happens.
detail into things in that. Let me
Yeah,
tell you.
I cannot show Destiny Can I
Uh,
have my PlayStation over there and show her that?
no,
What are
no,
you
you need
playing?
to leave me alone. But no, it's so yeah, man, it's I mean, main story thus far is great. It's just so fun seeing how they're handling things from the original Final Fantasy 7, especially a lot of new things too as well. Like they had to go in and completely change some things because like Yuffie's introduction, for example, is completely different because it kind of has to be because in the original it's just you just find her in the woods somewhere and she's just a character and you fight her real quick and she's like, hey, I'll join you guys. This is completely different. It's way more charming. I won't spoil it, but it's like way better than you'd even imagine. Just playing the original Final Fantasy 7, and it's really cool on this one because they're always all together, the group, and it has a very like Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it, like they really feel like a family, and it's just fun seeing their wacky personalities all come together and how they all like react to different situations together, and it's cool because like you're always traveling together, like even if you only have like Barrett and Red in your party at the moment, like those are the two main characters you're fighting with. Aerith and Tito still be in the back, like you still see them and they're still walking behind you. So it just feels like very fun, very like family, and you're always together. Um, yeah, I feel like I have so much to say about it, but we're running out of time here. Let me see here. Yeah, like I said, very linear at times. Dude, Queen's Blood. We gotta talk about Queen's Blood a little bit.
Yes, please.
Queen's Blood is the shit, man. So it's the card game. Uh, and they're kind of scattered throughout the open world as well. There's just like different players you can go and battle and stuff throughout the card game. And it just became very addictive. They make you play it at a certain point, and I think that's when it really became like a thing. Because originally I see the card game, I'm like, oh, I'm out. I'm not doing this, But then
Who
they
wants to play
make you play it.
cards?
Yeah, exactly. They make you play it at one point, and then I'm like, okay, that was kind of fun, after like the tutorial make you play it thing. But then there was still markers on the open world of the players that you can go battle around there. So I was like, all right, well, I gotta go at least beat them. And then I got really into it after I kind of forced myself to play it like that. Yeah, so it got me into the
Can I
card
ask,
game.
like, what got you? What broke your brain there?
I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, it was making me play it, I guess, Like I just normally I wouldn't give that type of shit a chance. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think it was the forcing me to play it and then me realizing it was actually pretty fun.
interesting. Yeah, because like I'm even trying to think of what broke my brain with card games and stuff. And I guess like I always had like tangential like interest in card games, and I guess Magic really broke my brain, and I just kind of like card games ever since. So yeah, I'm curious if you try other card games now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not, I mean, I'd be down, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'd definitely be down to go and try some more now after this. It'd be really cool if this was the thing that got me into a different genre, right?
yeah,
That's a very cool thing, right? Combat is upgraded from the first one, definitely. There's a lot of cool new stuff. There's a lot more in the air combat things going on here. So like,
okay,
kind of it depends on which character. So like Cloud, for example, if a character's in the air and you hold square now, Cloud will then jump in the air and then you can slash up there. And he kind of falls down easily, because he's heavy. So it's like he comes down easily. So you got to kind of keep your combo going if you're gonna stay in the air there and like keep going with different abilities. You can't just like sit there and mash act or square and then you'll be in the air the entire time. It's not really how it works. So you gotta kind of like, and then different abilities will launch you into the air as well. So like your triple slash now, if you choose that as an ability, you can get into the air with that already. So you could already start the combo by just choosing the triple slash and
yeah,
then
just
doing that.
target. Yeah,
Yeah, and then the synergy abilities are back as well from the DLC in the last one. And a lot of those you can launch characters in the air as well with. So like if you want to use the Barrett and Teeth or Barrett and Aerith synergy ability, use that. You can launch Aerith into the air then too with that, and that's also a big power move. So you can kind of clear out enemies that way. Red 13's combat is fucking fun, man. Like they really
yeah.
knocked it
So
out of the park with that.
what's he like?
So his is kind of more like brawler, I'd say. If
A
you
little
want to
more
like,
Tifa like.
yeah, a little bit more Tifa like, very fast paced though, and kind of hits multiple enemies at the same time with a lot of his abilities. His is just like super fun, very almost character action like with Reds. That is kind of what it feels like. It's just very fast paced.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like a whole vengeance thing with him. If you press triangle, you get that's like his special ability thing. Um, And so when you press triangle on that, he just goes into like almost like a berserker mode, where he's
Mhm.
just like fucking up everything. Everything's on fire, and his combat's very good, very fun. Aerith's combat's definitely upgraded from the last one. She has a lot of cool like conjured wards now, where like
More support
yeah,
stuff.
more support stuff, and like there's one where if she stands in the circle after she conjures the ward, her basic shooting magic just becomes much more powerful, and they're like giant
Cool.
lasers, but you gotta like stay in that circle there, so it's like if an enemy kind of knocks you out of that, you can press triangle to like warp back into that if your ability's high enough at that time. And so that's very fun as well. I'm finding Air's combat a lot more fun in particular. And
Yeah, it sounds
then
like you're really switching a lot, not like making them do their abilities. You're actively
yeah,
like
I
switching and
switch
doing
all the
stuff.
time. Yeah, for sure. It's this game you could just sit as Cloud and just mash square, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
I'm thinking, you could still like tell, oh, like Barrett, you do that, right?
yeah, of course, yeah, and
So,
of course you can press L2 and then just hit one of their abilities if their ability
mhm.
meter's all the way up, and then have them do that from there and just remain as Cloud. But yeah, I do tend to switch a lot. The combat in these games is very much what you make of it, because you could just sit there as Cloud, especially if you're playing on like easy or whatever. You could sit there as Cloud and just mash square, and you'll probably be fine. But
Mhm.
it reminds me of Kingdom Hearts in that manner. It's what you make of it more than it is like the actual game forcing you to use these things.
Yeah. So my last question, in remake, they make you kind of place particular characters, and
Yeah.
like because like somebody will leave and go do something, they'll come back. Does this game do that, or can I just play with Aerith and Tifa the whole time?
I mean, you have to be Cloud and like the main, like it switches you
I
back.
mean those two as my party members the whole time.
Oh, can you just keep them as your party members the whole
Yes.
time? Yeah, for the most
Okay.
part. I mean, there's parts in the linear missions, in the linear
I see.
chapters where you have to play as this. Like there was a part in chapter 3 where the team gets broken up, so you have to. It's like Barrett and Red, and then Cloud, Tifa, Aerith on one side, and so obviously in the Barrett and Red section, you're playing as Barrett or Red, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, but I can just keep like Tifa and Aerith, and like that's my party.
Yeah, you could
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, and,
Cool.
and and like I said, the other two will always be following you around, or the three. I
Yeah,
just
they
got
can kick
Yuffie,
rocks.
so yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they
You
can
see
kick.
them in
It's
the
just me,
background.
Tifa, and
Sometimes
Aerith.
they'll throw in support, like Barrett on the side. Sometimes you'll see him just shooting an enemy, and you're like, oh, that's cool.
Even if he's not in
Yeah,
in
even
your
if he's
party at
not
the
in the
time.
team. Yeah. It doesn't do
Oh,
like a ton of damage. It does like barely any, honestly. But like, it
I
seems
like
like if
that
like
though.
yeah, I very much like that too. It seems like they're not. It is weird that they're off to the side sometimes. It's like, what are you guys
They're
doing?
just sitting there.
Yeah, what are you doing? It's like in Dragon Ball Z when characters are always just standing off to the side. It's
Yeah,
like,
this is like Goku
why don't you
fight.
guys come help? you know. But yeah, story's super charming thus far. Very fun seeing how they handle different things, man. There's just some crazy mechanics going on in this game with just different aspects of the main story. It's just
Cool.
how they handle certain things. They just go above and beyond on.
Mhm.
I've been finding. It's just particular parts that people love from the original Final Fantasy VII are just upgraded and improved in this game in ways that you really wouldn't have thought of
Yeah.
beforehand, and just some really fun side missions with a lot of thought put into it as well. So yeah, man, I'm having a hell of a time thus far. I'll definitely be talking about it more next week.
I'm so excited to get to it. It's gonna be a little bit still, sadly, but I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there. Be great when you get there. All right, people, that's going to do it for the Nerdcast Podcast, episode 213. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to us over at youtube.com/nerdicgods. You can also find us available on all audio platforms. Daniel, anything else you want to say?
Rest in peace, Rooster Teeth, my sweet prince.
I kind of rhymed
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit. All right, bye, everybody.
Hi, everybody.